All right, so let's just get started with our neck. So we're just going to take an ear to a shoulder and stretching through the center of the side of the neck there, pushing that shoulder away, down and away to help accentuate that stretch. Good, and then we'll switch that to the other side. Again, getting that stretch through the center of the side of the neck, pushing that shoulder down and away. And release this. Take this arm and take it behind the back, and then turn the chin the other direction and tilt that chin down at a 45-degree angle. And what you're doing is you're aiming to get a stretch along the back of the side of the neck. Good, and release that. Switch arms, look the other way, tilt that chin down about a 45-degree angle, getting a stretch along that muscle that's along the back of the side of the neck. Good, and release that, and then look towards the other direction. This time tilt the chin up to a 45-degree angle, and you might have to tilt that head slightly back, aiming to get that muscle that's along the front of the side of the neck. And release that, look towards the other direction, tilt that chin up to 45, and you might have to tilt that head a little bit back to get that stretch along the muscle that's along the front of the side of the neck. Good, and release that. Bring your arms up to goalpost, and then you're going to pull those elbows back and release. So pulling those elbows as far back as you can and release. Drawing those shoulder blades together as you do, and release. Back and release. 4 more times. 4 and 3, 2, and 1 more there. Good. Bring your arms down, palms up, facing towards the ceiling, and then you're going to rotate. So you're rotating the shoulders to bring those hands back as far as you can, and then release that. Rotate back and release. Rotate back and release. Back and release. 4 more times. 4 and 3, 2, and last time like that. And then we're going to clasp those hands behind the back, and then draw those elbows back as far as you can and release. Draw them back and release. Back and release. Back and release. 4 more times. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very good. All right, we're going to grab a bar or chair right away and bring it over to this side. All right, so starting out here, I want us to step into our first position. So natural turnout from your hips. You're going to take this inside foot, so the one that's closest to the bar, you're going to step behind and away from that bar, and you'll come down here for a curtsy lunge. Then you're going to bring your hand back to the bar, come back to this first position, and do a nice big kick to the side. All right, so it's curtsy lunge away, bring it back to first, and big kick. Curtsy lunge away, and big kick. Good. Away and big kick. Away and big kick. Good. Curtsy lunge. Big kick. Curtsy lunge. Big kick. Curtsy lunge. Big kick. Curtsy lunge. big kick. Keep going. And we're halfway through. Curtsy lunge, big kick, and curtsy lunge, big kick, curtsy lunge, big kick, curtsy lunge, big kick. 8 more. Here's 8 and 7, 6, 5, 4, and 3, 2, and last one right here. Good. Now, from this position, we're going to just hinge sideways towards the bar, so no twisting here, chest facing forward. And we're going to have a little bit of bend, a little bit of give in this standing leg here, a little bit of bend in that knee. And then you're just gonna lift this leg up high and lower with control. All right, so 8 times. Lift, lower. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Then I want you to bring it up and hold and pulse for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then I want you to hold the top and flex and point the knee or the foot 4 times. Flex, point, flex, point, flex, point, flex, point. Then hold here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And bring it up. Really good. All right, we're going to switch those all to the other side. All right, so setting up in that first position, you're a bit of a distance, like arm's length away from that chair bar support, so you can reach it before you leave the bar, and it's there when you come back. And so you're going to step that inside, so the one that's closest to the chair bar, you're going to step behind and away from that bar and come down for that curtsy lunge. Then you're going to step back into this first position before you side bend with a big kick up. All right, so curtsy lunge, first big kick, and curtsy lunge, first big kick, and curtsy lunge, big kick, good, curtsy lunge, big kick. Chest lifted, belly button in, good. We're on our second set. We're starting right now, actually, if I'm honest. I try to be good. Halfway through, big kick, curtsy lunge, big kick, curtsy lunge, big kick. All right, 8 more to go. Here's 8 and 7, 6 and 5, 4 and 3, 2, big kick, and last one right there. Good. All right, so chest facing forward. You're going to side bend here, and so no twisting here, chest stays forward, and then we're going to lift and lower this leg. So you lift and lower with control. We're going to do that 8 times, a little bit of bend in this standing knee. Lift, lower, 7, lower with control, 6 and 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now bring it up and pulse for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold up and flex and point the toes. Flex, point, flex, point, flex, point. One more time now. Hold high for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release that. Bring it up. Shake those legs. We're going to give ourselves a quick figure 4 stretch on each side. So bring an ankle across the knee. Sit into those hips and glutes. Relax into that. Good, and then switch that to the other side. Ankle across the knee. Sit into those hips and glutes. Relax into that. Good, and then bring it back. All right, switch your bar chair back over to the other side. So I'm going to do this one on a bit of an angle because I think it'll help you see what the heck I'm doing. So our feet are going to be hip width apart, toes just facing forward, and our movers are going to be our outside leg and arm here. So you're going to take the outside foot, step back, shoulders come back with that. You'll lunge down here. Then you're going to come up and we're going to hinge forward and tap the ground. You do have an option here. You could just hinge forward here if this is too much, that tap. And then that toe comes back down and we do it again. So it's lunge, bring it up and tap that ground as you hinge forward. Lunge and tap. 6 more like this. 6 and 5. 4, 3, 2, and last one right there. Good. Now we're going to hinge out to parallel with the ground, reaching our arm and hip out at our shoulder height and hip height here. And we're going to do our hamstring curl. So curl in, out, in, out. In, out, in, out. Keep going. Good. That's our first set. Keep going. In, out. We're halfway through. Good. Keep that knee up at hip height. And 8 more here. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release that, come back up, and we're going to go back to the lunge and then tap that ground 8 times. So lunge down, bring it up, and hinge forward with the tap to the ground. Lunge and touch that ground. Or you can do the lunge and reach, right? Lunge, tap ground. 4 more, lunge and tap. Lunge and tap. 2 more, lunge and tap, and last one and tap. Good. Now we're going to come back to that extension at the hip and shoulder height with the arm and the leg, and we're going to do heel presses. So you're going to come here, you're going to flex the foot, bend the knee at 90, and then press that heel towards the ceiling. Pulse, 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 pulse. Good. Keep going, nice and strong. Good. And we've got 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release that. Bring it up, and we're going to finish off with 8 more of the lunge back and then tap ground. So lunge and tap. Lunge and tap. Lunge and tap. 4 more. Here's 4 and 3, 2, and last one right here. Good. Now we're going to switch those all to the other side. All right. So setting that up, feet are hip width apart and toes facing forward. And we're going to start with our step back, come down for that lunge. Shoulders came back with those hips, right? And then bring it up and hinge forward, tap that ground, or you could reach out to parallel to the ground. All right, so 8 times, lunge, and then tap that ground. Lunge and hinge with that tap. 6 more, and 5, and 4, 3, 2, and last one right here. Good. Then we're gonna reach out to parallel with the ground with our arm and leg extended at hip height and shoulder height. And we're gonna go into our hamstring curls. So curl in, out, keeping knee up at hip height. Good. Excellent. We're on our second set already. In, out. We're halfway through, just like that. Curl it in, out. Excellent. We've got 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Bring it up. Now back to that lunge, up, tap the ground. Lunge, up, hinge, and tap. For 6 more. Good. And 5, 4, and 3, 2, and last one right here. Good. Then we're going to come back out to that parallel to the ground position. Flex the foot, bend the knee, press the heel towards the ceiling. Little pulses, pulse, 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 pulse. Keep it going here. Second set already. Now we're halfway through. Pulse, pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And bring it up. And then we're going to finish off with 8 more of the lunge and tap. And lunge, hinge, tap. And lunge and tap. Lunge and tap. 4 more. Here's 4. Good. And 3, 2, and last one right here. Very good. Bring it up. Now we're going to do a figure 4 stretch on each side, and a good one of this before we move on. So ankle across your knee, sit into those hips and glutes, really easing in, also stretching that lower back as you do. Once you've been here a few moments, try to sink a little bit deeper into that. Get a good stretch in those hips and glutes. Good. Good, and then we're going to release that and go to the other side. So ankle across the knee, sit into those hips and glutes. Let that lower back open up as well. Now that you've been here a few moments, let yourself sink a bit deeper into that. Good. And then you're going to bring it up. Excuse me. You're going to bring your chair or bar right in front of you. And we're going to set up first off in our natural turnout in first with our heels together, just so we can check that. Bend those knees, making sure knees and toes are in line. And then I want you to step out just to hip width apart with those heels. All right, so those heels lined up just under my hips, but still in that turnout there. And then we're going to, you have the option, you could keep your heels down here, or you could bring them up. So I'm coming to demi point, I'm lifting those heels and half point on those toes to do our pliés here. So just making sure you keep those shoulders right over those hips. When you bend those knees, don't lean forward or anything like that. Tilt that pelvis forward, tuck that tailbone under to help prevent that. So you're going to do a plie in the middle, so to speak, and then you're going to come up and passe over here, and then back down to plie, and then passe over here. All right, so it's plie, passe, 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 plie, passe. 4 more, passe. 3, passe. 2, and last one right here. Good. Now we're going to, with the plie, we're going to pulse 3 and then passe. 1, pulse 3, passe 1 here. All right. So it's 3, 2, 1, passe. 3, 2, 1, passe. 3, 2, 1, passe. 3, 2, 1, passe. 4 more and passe. 3, 2, 1 and passe. 2 more and passe. 3, 2, 1, passe. Good. Now with that plie in the middle, we're going to progressively lower for a count of 3 and then up for passe, progressively lower, up for passe. All right. So it's 3, 2, 1, passe. 3, 2, 1, passe. 3, 2, 1, passe. 3, 2, 1, passe. 4 more. 2, 3, passe. Down. 2, 3, passe. Down. 2, 3, passe. Last 1, 2, 3, passe. Good. Back to your plie position. We're going to take it low and do pulses low. So come low, pulse, pulse, pulse it out. Good. Keep pulsing. And we've got 8, 7, 6, 5, and 4. We're going to hold bottom. Good. Hold low. Now take it lower. One more time. Go lower. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Bring it up. Shake those legs. We're going to give our quads and calves a stretch. Point that knee to the floor. Tilt that pelvis forward, tuck that tailbone under to help accentuate that stretch. And switch to the other side. Good. Tucking that tailbone under, tilting that pelvis forward. Good. And then let's give those calves a stretch as well. So step a heel back behind you, press it into the floor as you're reaching those hips forward, chest forward. So essentially rest of the body forward as you're pushing that heel down behind you into the floor. Good. And then we'll switch that to the other side. Press that heel into the floor. Reach those hips forward, chest forward. Basically the rest of the body forward as you're pushing that heel down into the mat. Very good. All right, so you're gonna grab, it's optional. We're gonna use our chair. So I'm gonna switch to my chair now, but we're going to sit on our chair, and if you want, you can grab 1 or 2 pound weights, or you could go without any weights. And I don't have my weights handy, so I'm gonna go into my little chest there. Here we go. Okay. All right, so we're going to sit. I want you to sit towards the edge of the chair, and with your toes or with your feet, you could have them flat on the ground like so, or you could come to demi point, so I'm just lifting the heels, or you could come to full point, so I'm pointing the toes. Now you'd have to be careful with that. You might get toe, foot cramps. So You could just go here. But again, if you're getting cramping, just keep your heels down. Why would I want you to keep your heels up? Well, if you just imagine, or just a few times, roll up and back down flat, you should feel that core working, right? So the higher you get with those knees, right, the more the core needs to work to stabilize. Here, with those feet ground, you're a little bit more stable, so the core doesn't really have to engage like it does. So that's the reason, just to get more core work out of this, while you're doing your arm work, okay? So shoulders down, chest lifted, and we're just gonna start with flies all the way up and all the way down. All the way up and all the way down. Keep those shoulders down and chest lifted. My palms are facing me when they come down. At the top of the motion, my palms are facing the walls on either side of me. So I'm bringing basically the back of those hands together. Good, keep the shoulders down. Keep those exterior neck muscles relaxed. Don't let them get involved here. Good, 8 more here. 8 and 7, 6 and 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one here. Okay, now I want you to, when you bring those arms down, to turn the palms out. All right, so if you're not holding weights, you would just have your hands open here and palms facing out. And then you're gonna bring them up. My palms are together, right? Facing each other, facing away from each other. So the opposite of what we were just doing. Shoulders down, exterior neck muscles relaxed. Lift and lower. Good. Shoulders stay down. Keep that neck relaxed, even though it wants to engage and help out. Tell it to stop. Good. Lift, lower, lift, lower, lift, lower, lift, lower. Good. And 8 more. Here's 8, lower, and 7. Good. 6 and 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one right there. Good. Now, palms still up and elbows in. So, if I'm not holding weights, my hands are open here. And I want you to lift overhead and then pull those elbows back in. Lift, pull in. Lift, pull in. Lift, pull in. Lift, pull in. Good. Pull those elbows in. Lift. Pull them in. Lift. Pull them in. Lift. Pull in. Shoulders stay down. Exterior neck muscles stay relaxed. Good. Lift. In. Lift. In. Lift. In. And 8 more. Here's 8 and 7. Here's 6 and 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one there. All right, now bring the arms down, palms facing each other, shoulders down, chest lifted. We're going to do flies again, but this time instead of bringing them all the way up like we did at the beginning, we're just gonna bring them to shoulder height. Maybe try going like a centimeter or inch above, just to make sure you're gonna, not cheat, So go the full distance, and then lower with control. Don't let it drop. All right, so lift, lower, lift, lower, lift, lower, lift, and lower. Shoulders stay down. Exterior neck muscles stay relaxed. Lift, lower, lift, and lower. Good. Lift, lower, lift, lower, lift, lower, lift, and lower. 8 and 7. Here's 6 and 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Now we're going to bring those arms right in front. And I want you to rotate in and then back up. All right, so thumbs are up here and then rotate in as far as you can. Thumbs up, rotate in, rotate in, rotate in, in. Good. Keep going. Rotate in, rotate in, rotate in, rotate in. Excellent. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring them down for a moment. Then we're going to bring them up to out to the side, and we're going to rotate back from the elbows. So rotate those thumbs back, and then up. Rotate back, 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 back. Good. Shoulders down. Exterior neck muscles relaxed. Rotate, 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 rotate. Very good. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently bring it down. Bring those weights down to the ground. You can bring those heels down, chest lifted, shoulders down. Bring one arm up and across at shoulder height. Stretch it in towards you. Getting a good stretch on that shoulder. And then release, lower slightly, pull back in. Just to get a different angle on the stretch in that shoulder. Good. And then other side comes up and across at shoulder height. Release, lower slightly, pull back in. Release that, take your hands to your lap, take an ear to shoulder, and press that shoulder away. Just get a nice stretch through the muscle that goes along the center of the side of the neck. Good, switch to the other side. We're going to do one more time each way, so switch. And switch again. Bring that head up, look down, so bring the chin down, and then go into 3 half neck circles each way. Just bringing that chin up to one shoulder, circle it down around to the other shoulder, and go back and forth, so 3 times each way. Once you've done 3 times each way, bring the chin down before you bring the head back up. And then once you bring the head back up, you're going to do 3 or 4 shoulder circles back, 3 or 4 shoulder circles forward, just loosening up there. And then we're going to put your chair away and your weights away, and we're going to come down to the mat for some abdominal work. Oh, once you've got your view adjusted and you're down to the ground, we're going to start in a sitting position because we're going to roll down to articulate through every vertebrae, every bend between every vertebrae in our spine, right? So we start sitting like so, and then you could reach your arms forward like this, or you could trace your hands along your legs. So first create that C curve in that lower back, right? So, well, it's the whole back, but really trying to feel that in that lower back, and then engaging that deep inner core, right? So you can cue that by engaging that pelvic floor. You're going to engage and re-engage as you slowly lower one vertebrae by one vertebrae. Really try to feel each one as you bend vertebrae by vertebrae, one at a time. Engage, re-engage that core over and over again with control. Feel vertebrae by vertebrae as you roll it down, nice and controlled. Good. Even through the top of the spine, vertebrae by vertebrae, it just gets a little bit easier to articulate at that point because they're not so compressed together as they are at the base of the spine there. All right, so from here, we're going to straighten our legs. We're going to go into our roll up. We're only going to do our roll up 6 times today, but first I'm going to start with a modified demo. So it'll be, if you're doing it with that, we'll do 7. So it's an inhale as you start to come up. At the hardest point, you're going to engage that pelvic floor. Start your exhale and bend your knees. Bring it up and over, and then as you reach forward, you're going to straighten those legs again. Reach forward, exhale all that air out as you pull that belly button in towards the spine as far as you can. And then you're going to reverse the motion. So at that hardest point, coming down with control that you need, you're going to engage that pelvic floor, bend those knees, roll it down vertebrae by vertebrae, and then straighten out here. All right, so if I'm going into full now. Inhaling, and at the hardest point, engaging that pelvic floor, starting that exhale, pulling that belly button in, and reaching forward as far as I can. Exhale that air all out, pull that belly button in as far as I can as I'm reaching forward. Good, and then rolling back, vertebrae by vertebrae with control. 5 more to go. Inhale, engage, and exhale. Pull that belly button in towards the spine and reach, reach, reach. Exhale all that air out. Good. And rolling down with control. And 4 more to go. Inhale, engage, and exhale. Pull the belly button in, exhaling all that air out as you reach as far forward as you can. And pull that belly button in as far as you can. And then reverse all the way down with control. Good. 3 more to go. And 2 more. And 1 more right here. Very good. All right. Palms down beside you on the mat, or you could, if you want, do that triangle and position the center of the triangle at the base of your tailbone. All right. Otherwise, you're here. You're going to pull the belly button in towards your spine. Engage that pelvic floor, so like a kegel to cue that deep inner core. And start your exhale as you lift both legs all the way up. Try to bring them a little bit further forward. Straighten those legs like arrows still, so don't let them be bent there. Nice and straight. And then bring them down. with control. Good. Pull belly button in. Engage that pelvic floor to cue the deep inner core. Start your exhale and bring those straight legs in. And then bring them down with control. Good. 4 more to go. Pull belly button in. Engage that core. Exhale as you bring it up and come down with control. 3 more. Engage that core. Pull belly button in. Start your exhale. And down with control. 2 more. Belly button in. Engage that core. Exhale up and bring it down with control. And 1 more. Belly button in. Engage that core. Start your exhale and bring it all the way up and then down with control. Good. Briefly pull those knees into the chest to release that lower back. Good. Now, from here, you're going to bring your hands. I'm just going to stack my hands one on top of the other, so I'm not lacing those fingers here. Just stacked and under the head. And then I'm going to straighten one leg, and I'm going to keep one leg bent. All right, so you're going to crunch the upper body and bring a straight leg up. And then you're going to lower, and then you're going to do it again, but this time you're going to bring a bent knee in and then straighten, all right? So it's straight leg with the crunch, lower and bent knee, and straight and bent knee. Pull the belly button in, straight and bent, straight and bent. Pull belly button in. 4 and 4. 3 and 3. 2 more each way. And 2 and 1 more each way, straight and then bend. Good. Now we're going to switch that to the other leg. So bend, straighten the other leg, and starting with that straight leg, bend, right? And then down, and then bent knee, and down. All right, that was our demo. So we're going to do 8 each way. So it's straight and bent, straight and bent, straight, bent, straight, and bent. 4 more each way. Good. And 3. 3. Pull belly button in. 2 and 2. 1 and 1. Good. All right. Release those arms from behind your head and pull those knees in. Pull them in nice and deep to that chest. And we're going to do one more before we move, before we stretch out and end this thing today. So I want you to come up into a bridge position here. Arms are going to be here or here. And then I want you to anchor those hips in place and go into a march here. All right. So trying not to teeter-totter those hips, really anchor them in place, right? So that core and those glutes have to work to keep that nice and stable, right? And nice and high, not moving. You're hinging at the hips, but you're not moving their position. All right, good. Keep going. Don't teeter-totter, strong. So you're engaging and re-engaging that deep inner core, right? You can cue that by engaging that pelvic floor just before you lift a foot to go into march. So 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one there. Gently lower, and this time when you pull those knees in, you can give yourself a little rock and roll. Relaxing, releasing all those muscles, letting go of any tension. Good. And then you're going to straighten one leg long, straighten the other leg long, reach arms overhead, and create a nice lengthening stretch through the torso by reaching your fingers and toes in opposite directions. Very good. And then we're going to bring it up and finish off with a hip flexor stretch. All right, so knees are about hip width apart. Step 1 foot forward, hinge forward. Right, now you could keep this up here, reaching that chest forward here, or if you want, you can bring those arms overhead, creating a little bit more weight over your center of gravity, helping to pull yourself down into this stretch. Good, and then we're going to switch to the other side, so hinge it back, and then step the other foot forward, hinge forward. Now you could stay here with this, chest reaching, or bring those arms up overhead and let that added weight help gravity pull you down into the stretch. Very good, and that's a wrap. Thank you so much for joining me.